So, No Time to Die is the latest film in the James Bond series. It's Daniel Craig's final movie. It's been confirmed. It's directed by Cary Fukunaga. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I could be wrong there. And it stars a whole bunch of people, including Daniel Craig, as I mentioned, Lashana Lynch, Jeffrey Wright, Ana de Armas, Billy Magnuson, David Densick, Rami Malek, Lea Seydoux, Ben Whishaw, Naomi Harris, Ralph Fiennes. So many people in this movie. So many people. And there's really not much to say about the plot of this movie because there's a lot to talk about in a spoiler review. And all you gotta know is that Daniel Craig as James Bond is on his final mission and he has to defeat this villain played by Rami Malek. That's all I'm gonna say. There's really not much to say about it. So I was not looking forward to this movie back when it was supposed to come out last year. I'm not the biggest fan of James Bond. I mean, I do have the collection. And I have liked, I had mixed feelings about Daniel Craig as James Bond. Like, I like a lot of the stuff he's done. I kind of like the serious tone. But his films have been mixed. Like, Casino Royale and Skyfall are really good. Quantum of Solace and Spectre, not so much. And I was kind of looking forward to this one because I was hoping that it was going to be a good James Bond movie. It was going to be a good movie for Daniel Craig to finish his run on. And I was kind of shocked last year when the movie got delayed. It was the first movie to announce that they were being delayed. And at first I was like, what are they doing? Are they really thinking it's like, I'm thinking like, this whole thing's going to blow over. Like, I think they're overreacting to this. And then we realized, no, not at all. We're not overreacting to this. We're underreacting to this whole thing. So it kind of caused all these other movies to get delayed last year. And I'm glad that I finally got the chance to see this in a theater, and I'm glad to say that this is one of the better James Bond movies in, well, not necessarily recent years, but like, just one of the better James Bond movies, and I would say it was the best ending to any James Bond actor. Yeah, take them all. This is the best ending, honestly. So, I honestly enjoyed No Time to Die. That's how I'll start this whole thing. Honestly, all the performances in this movie are really good. Daniel Craig gives probably one of his best performances as James Bond. He nails the action scenes, the emotional scenes, everything about his performance works in this movie. A lot of people in this movie are really good. Lashana Lynch, she's really good. She's a new 007. Her chemistry with James Bond is really good. Her action scenes are really fine, and her performance never comes off as like forced or cringy. Her performance is really good in this movie. A lot of people are really good. Jeffrey Wright's returning. Ana de Armas really surprised me. I thought she was really good in this movie. I wanted to see more of her, unfortunately. A couple other smaller characters like Billy Magnuson. David Densick was really good in this movie too as a henchman. I won't go into more detail, but maybe for a spoiler review. And there's a bunch of people returning in this movie who have appeared in other Bond movies. Even though they're fine, they don't really get to do much. They're kind of just doing what they've done in all the other movies, like, Ben Whishaw, Naomi Harris. We've seen this all before. It's nothing new, unfortunately. And a lot of the action scenes in this movie are really good, and they're also really creative, and there's a lot of variety in these action scenes. Like, there's a lot of car chases that are really cool, explosions, gliders that are being used, the fist fights, the shootouts. They're all really cool. They're all really interesting. They have all their unique take, and it's all really well done. Also, like, the cinematography is really good by Linus Sandgren's really good. The score by Hans Zimmer was excellent. And even the song that plays in the opening credits, this one's done by Billie Eilish. At first, I didn't really care for the song, and then, I hear in the movie, it's like, oh, okay, that's actually really cool. That's actually really good. It actually works in the movie, and it's actually impactful in the movie. So I actually really like the score in this movie, the song in this movie. Also, there's a lot of homages to the James Bond franchise that honestly work. Like the henchmen, which are a lot more, they're kind of more in line with the campiness of James Bond, which I thought in this movie it surprisingly worked. It's like the nice blend of campiness and the serious tone of this series. Also, there's a lot of puns in this movie that may be cringy to a lot of people, but in this movie it worked. Again, nice blend of campiness and seriousness. Like, it never comes off as campy in this movie, but it just works. So there's a lot of things in this movie that really do work. Now let's get into the things I don't like. First off, this movie's a little too long, to be honest. I try to not to complain about the lengths of movies. No movie's too short, no movie's too long. This movie is too long. This movie's 163 minutes. And honestly, I felt it at times like it really could have been shorter in some ways. Like, it should have shortened it up by about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I honestly thought it would have been a little bit better. Also, even though most of the actors in this movie are really good, unfortunately, one of them is not Rami Malek. Now, I love Rami Malek. I loved him in Mr. Robot. I didn't care for Bohemian Rhapsody, but I loved him in that movie. Here, it's just underwhelming. He's just an underwhelming villain. All of his backstory is basically given through, just a line of dialogue. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine, I guess. And I thought his performance overall was like, it was too much and yet not enough at the same time. Like, he's focusing too much on, like, being creepy and not so much on being evil. Which, that may sound weird, but I feel like you focus too much on the creepiness and not enough in any other area. And it's like, it just didn't work for me. I just think, I thought Mads Mikkelsen was a better villain. I thought Javier Bardem was a better villain. He was a better villain than Christoph Waltz, I'll give him that. And even though all the action scenes are really good, some of them just are better than others. Like, I'm thinking back to the car chase, like in the opening, or this shootout with Ana de Armas. I thought that was really cool. Some are not nearly as strong, unfortunately. And also, I'm not going to spoil this movie, but the ending. I'm not saying it's a bad ending. And I was kind of thinking this was the direction they were going into. I just feel like it could have been a little bit neater. Like, it just kind of felt sloppy and put together. It's like, okay, this is happening, and this is how this is actually happening. Okay. I understand why they're doing this, but maybe the actual ending could have been a little bit better. Overall, No Time to Die, I do think it's one of the better James Bond movies. I do think the performances are really good. The action is really good. It looks great. It sounds great. And honestly, it's one of the funnier James Bond movies, even though it's a lot more serious too. Like, they have these henchmen, and then, the homages to the other Bond movies are really good, and it's kind of funny. I guess because Phoebe Waller-Bridge was involved in the writing of this movie, so I guess it works. But overall, this is a very effective James Bond movie. It's a nice ending to Daniel Craig's run as Bond. And if you really enjoy Bond movies, definitely see this. If not, I would still check it out. I really would. I will give No Time to Die, as of right now, I'll give it 3 out of 4 stars. See it. I almost wanted to give it 3.5 out of 4, but again, villain was underwhelming, too long, and, I kind of mixed feelings about the ending right now, but we'll see. I'm going to try to do a No Time to Die spoiler review sometime next week. I'm going to try to do a Venom spoiler and a No Time to Die spoiler probably Tuesday. So, what'd you think of No Time to Die? Did you see it? Also, what's your favorite James Bond movie? Who's your favorite James Bond actor? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe.